Talking and tweeting business in Torbay and South Devon. This is the show.
So good evening, here we are. It is Monday night, it's just after 8 o'clock. Well, it is precisely 8 o'clock, really. Well, it is the TorbayHour radio show. Hi, it's Rick here. Martin's in the studio. We've also got special studio guests. We've got Mark and Lee, more from them a bit later on and where they're from. If you've not tuned in before, we are talking and tweeting business in Torbay and South Devon between now and 9 o'clock. The easy way to get in touch with the show is using Twitter, because that's how we all got here in the first place. Not, biologically.
Well, I don't know. It feels like it sometimes.
What, you are actually the love child of Twitter and Facebook?
It feels like it.
Get in touch, the easy way, the hashtag TorbayHour. Has it been a busy week for the hour?
It's been a hell of a busy week, actually. We had notification earlier that the hashtag TorbayHour reached 5 million people last week. So,
wow.
Yeah, very busy.
And, of course, counting down to the first birthday.
The first birthday of this month. Tweet up here.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need to talk.
Yeah, more on that as the hour goes on as well. So if you want to get in touch, feel free. If you've got any questions. Now, tonight we're going to be talking branding, image, web design, all of that kind of thing. So if you've got any image-based questions, not personal image, I hasten to add. Otherwise, we're all in an awful lot of trouble. But if you've got any questions around that, then get them in and we can address those during the show. As I say, hashtag TorbayHour is the easy way. You can do it on the phone as well if you want to. If you want to get your question answered live, 01626 361 977 is the telephone number. Of course, we've got our 140-second pitch. We're going to be finding out more about treading the boards a little bit later on with that South Devon Theatre Company. More from them. And we've got our account of the week. And we may as well stick with tradition and start with the account of the week. This week, we're off to Teignmouth. And it's the Riviera Bar. It's John Perkins, isn't it? Hello, John. John
Perkins.
John
yeah.
Perkins.
Yes, all right.
All is well. So, tell me about the Riviera Bar. It's the converted cinema right there on the seafront.
That's it. Yeah, I mean the buildings. I think it's Georgian. It's one of the most iconic buildings around, with those lovely big pillars. And it was an Art Deco cinema in the 30s, 40s, all the way through till about 10 years ago. And they closed it down and suddenly made it into a restaurant bar on the ground floor and the first floor. The cinema is still intact, unfortunately, not being used at all, and I suppose it won't be now that the council are building a new theatre across the road. But I leased the ground floor and the first floor there as a bar restaurant, the Riviera Bar.
Now, I have to declare an interest because I enjoyed sausages in your establishment some months ago.
Good.
And they were very fine, I have to say.
Excellent.
Nothing
good.
like a good sausage.
Yeah, that's good. If we want good feedback.
So, how long have you been running it?
I've owned the business since April last year.
Okay, so you've had a fair crack through the summer then.
Yeah, we had a good summer last year. Yeah, we've been still making some changes. We're making a few more now. We've been closed since Christmas, just doing one or two minor changes to the decor and new menu for the springtime, which we're looking forward to.
Now, summer was kind to you last year for your first one.
Yeah.
Going into the sort of restaurant, catering, whatever business you want to call it in this neck of the woods, is always going to be a sort of fairly brave move. You've got some fairly stiff competition.
We have, and it's a small town, Teignmouth. In the summertime, it's great, lots of tourists, but of course we have to appeal for our local people in the winter time. I'm lucky now that I've got two fantastic chefs, Warren and Danielle, have been with me since October. Michael Kane's train worked at the abode and also at Gidley Park. They're cracking chefs, and they've come up with some superb tapas type stuff. They're doing a real good tapas with an English twist, and it's been really popular. And they've built on that now. Got a more substantial menu starting when we open again for Valentine's weekend. And in fact, they've got a fantastic Valentine's weekend menu as well. So I'm proud of their cooking. It's excellent, and I'm sure they'll be hard to keep up with as far as local competition goes.
Okay, now a lot of restaurants sort of specialise in whether it's seafood or Italian or Indian or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Is there any one particular genre or style that you follow, or is it?
Well, our food has a Mediterranean feel to it, with local seafood, and it's the tapas. Now, we've got quite an extensive range of tapas, these smaller dishes to taste, and so it's that sort of Mediterranean tapas feel to the place.
Okay, now I was there certainly for breakfast. Are you open all day? Is that still an ongoing thing?
Yeah, we'll be doing food from midday all the way through till 9 or 10 o'clock at night. so we'll be serving through in the afternoon as well. And of course, it does change with lunchtime trade. It's different from the evening time trade. But we want that sort of relaxed feel about the place, real good quality food and a good value. We want to make sure that people can enjoy it and not worry too much about paying too much. But the quality of their food is excellent. I'm really pleased with what they do.
Excellent. Now, you touched on the redevelopment of the theatre just across the green there. Obviously, I mean, that's going to be good for you, isn't it? Because all the people coming to the new theatre are going to want to feed and drink first.
Well, they will have their own cafe bar there. I don't know quite who's going to be running it, but I think we've got the most unique, iconic type building in the region, in our area. And it's fantastic. You go upstairs, we've got a lovely room upstairs. We use a lot of parties and functions there, and then the balcony. You go on that balcony, it's a big wide balcony, look straight out to sea, over to the Ness at Shaldon, and it's a fantastic place for to enjoy a meal in nice weather. And indeed, it really is a popular party place, probably the party place at the moment now. We get quite a lot of parties in the evening, weddings, christenings. We're even proven to be an excellent place, would you believe, for wakes during the daytime, because it's a lovely Art Deco room upstairs.
I believe actually Luke Friend had his birthday party.
He did,
yes,
Luke, yeah, he did. Yeah, we have live music there too. But Luke had his birthday there. It's really good. I'm really proud of Luke. He's great for the town. And we do regular music. I'm a blues drummer. We play the blues up there regularly. I run a local community event called the Timoth Sessions, which we used to do at the Carlton Theatre before it was pulled down, and now do it upstairs at the Riviera Bar and the function room there. Once a month, live music event for local musicians to show what they can achieve. And again, in fact, Luke started doing his public singing there some years ago. And so it's a great venue. Live music, we're still having more live music. We've now got a variation of the licence, so we'll be having, I don't know if I can use the word disco, can I? But DJs on a Friday night more regularly. So I'm really excited to what we're going to achieve this year with the Riviera Bar. It's been growing steadily, but now it has got respect for parties. And for even daytime, we've been doing seminars, management meetings for local health authority, management meetings for the council. So it really is a place of great potential.
Right. So, I was going to say, it's a pretty broad selection of things. It's more than just a cafe.
That room upstairs, it's so good, and for people to use for their private functions, or we put our own functions on. And then when it's busy, like next on the Valentine's weekend, we've got it set up for Valentine meals up there, and Bill Lusty, who's my mate who works with me, is probably one of the best pianists around, so he'll be serenading people with his piano playing, along with a lad called Paul Reynolds on the Valentine's weekend as well. So there's all sorts going on there. So it's going to be a great business. I'm really proud of what we're starting to achieve now.
Okay, so summer's just around the corner, really, isn't it? I bet you're kind of planning that already.
Can't wait. I mean, this is the quiet time. We've indeed closed for January, so we can do some renovation, do some painting, and then we'll be opening from Wednesdays through till Sundays until the end of March, and then we're open 7 days a week from early morning through till late at night. So, that's when it starts getting really busy.
Well, you need to take next winter off to drive the Ferrari after all this.
Oh, you're joking. There's never loads of money in this. I do it for the love of it, really. But,
and it sounds as though that the music is a really key part of what you're planning there as well.
It is. It always has been. It's not an easy one, because there's a lot of venues in Teignmouth offering live music, and people enjoy music. And it's a great town for music. It's got a great musical heritage. You think about the bands that originated from here, Muse, These Raining Days, Moriarty. There's some real good bands, up-and-coming bands as well, that originate from Teignmouth. Luke Friend, as you mentioned. And we're part of that scene, not every night, because obviously I want to make sure we get the place that people enjoy coming to a meal as well, rather than just having live music. Live music upstairs, away from where most of the diners are. But it's getting that balance, and I think we will get it right this time.
Now, how do you find, because you've got that little area out the front that's sort of the alfresco dining experience, or certainly it was when I was there before.
It's a terrific big terrace, yeah. And to the side of that, there's a room there, glassed in, If it gets more inclement, we call the conservatory, which is great for enjoying some tea and even meals in there. We've had private parties in there as well in the evening time. It's quite a nice exclusive place to go and dine. So we're looking at how we can promote that more as an exclusive dining area for people to have a private function, as well as not having to worry about the large room upstairs.
Brilliant. So give us your contact details. Is there a website or Facebook page or whatever, so we can see pictures?
Well, the website's just been done as part of our reopening, but it's www.rivierabar.co.uk. We're on Facebook as the Riviera Bar and Twitter. And if you want to book up, if you want to email us on therivierabar@gmail.com, that's our current email address, therivierabar@gmail.com, particularly for the Valentine's weekend. We can send you out the menu, and if you book through that website, through that email address, you'll get a complimentary glass of Prosecco as well.
We like that kind of deal.
Yeah, and we're there. 01626 879 614 is our number.
And it's dead simple. If you've not been down to Timoth, down to the seafront, you're really kind of opposite the bottom of the pier, really, aren't you? You can't miss it.
If you come out the pier and look across the grass den, you'll see us there. Marvellous building, absolutely fantastic building. And it's a joy. I mean, it looks a bit foreboding sometimes, the railings there, but push yourself through the gate, past the railings, into the Riviera, and you'll have a warm welcome.
Fantastic. John, thanks for being our account of the week this week. And
thank you.
Have yourself a great Valentine's night, and then obviously a great spring and summer.
Yeah, great. And I hope to speak to you again soon.
The Featured Accounts with the Works Torbay. Flexible, affordable workspace. A new way of working and doing business.
There you go, our featured account this week, the Riviera Bar in Timoth there. So we all know where we're going on Valentine's night, although if we all go down there together, it will turn into a kind of impromptu tweet-up. Probably not that romantic after all, but you never know. Right, our guests in the studio this week are Mark and Lee from Frankman Design. Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
Welcome along to the Torbay Hour.
Thanks for having us.
Fairly chilly night outside, so we do appreciate you coming out. Now, we're talking brands and image, and how important that is to people's business. I mean, I guess really, to a certain degree, certainly with the internet, it's kind of everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's, no matter what size business you have, the brand is so important. It helps you attract the customers that you want to attract, basically. It portrays you in a light that you want to be portrayed in. It's very powerful. And it's just a way of helping you build your business in a fun, happy and attractive way as such.
Okay, so what parts of that do you handle? Do you handle literally from someone knocking on the door and saying, hi, we're a new business, can you start us from the ground up?
Yeah, basically we deal with brand new businesses all the way through to, we've just rebranded an event company which was their 21st birthday,
right.
Unmissable Events. So yeah, quite a wide range. Basically, what we look for in businesses when they come to us is, a company that's been going, that they've started off, they've kind of found their feet, their foothold, and they've decided we want to attract this type of customer, and at that point we can come in and help them attract that type of customer.
Right, so and that is literally down to maybe the kind of logo they've got, their website and that kind of stuff makes all the difference. Yeah,
it's the whole remit from your your logo's your starting point, and then elements of that are taken through to all your advertising material. So your website, your Twitter account, Facebook, online advertising, everything, so that if somebody sees an element of your advertising material, no matter if it's your website, your business card, or a flyer, they know immediately that this is XYZ company and they can relate to them.
Now, I guess some of the huge obvious successes of people like McDonald's and Coca-Cola, where those brands, it doesn't even need to be in English, but you instantly know who they are. Yeah,
I mean, it's a good point. The branding is so very important. It's a fact of, it's the only thing that can turn black fizzy sticky water into a multi-million-pound company like Coca-Cola, and burger and fries into McDonald's. It's everyday items that have their own spin on the item that makes them something that people desire. So, a burger's a burger, but McDonald's is McDonald's, and it's this sort of thing that distinguishes you from your competition.
So how do you find sometimes that businesses, maybe ones that are more established, kind of forget that brand identity is so important to what they do?
Yeah, some companies that we talk to, they're looking for a refresh. So maybe they're not necessarily looking to rebrand themselves, but they're more looking to relaunch themselves and attract and interact and engage with their customers. And that's kind of where we come in and do our little bit and try and get the customers that they want.
Okay. So, Mark, take me through the process then. So I've knocked on your door, and where are you to start with?
We're in Torquay, on the harbour side.
Right.
So it's a nice view from the window. Great.
And if people want to check out your website, give us the website details now.
Website address is www.frankmandesign.co.uk.
Okay, so I've knocked on the door. I've got a brand new company starting up.
Yep.
What are the kind of things you go through?
Well, first of all, we say, do you want a cup of tea?
Good start. Good start.
And,
We like that.
and then we basically sit down with yourselves and have a real sort of in-depth chat about you, your business, what you want to do, who you're trying to appeal to, your target audience, really as much information from you as possible, and then from that we obviously have a good in-depth conversation and basically tell you what we can do to get you to where you want to be.
Now, is the kind of the business channel, whether someone's an accountant or whether they're a manufacturing industry and that kind of stuff, is that really important to the kind of image that you would choose for them?
I mean, every business is totally different. So, for example, an accountant, you could have an accountant who's really, really serious and likes everything to be, to look totally professional and very corporate in style. We could have another accountant who's real fun, and their whole personality, what they want to get that across into their brand style, I suppose. So yeah, we'll again from this sort of information, you can usually gauge what kind of person the business owner is, and we try our best to sort of tailor a look and a style that will suit them, but also as well, they usually have a particular kind of client, I suppose, that they're trying to get as well. So it's important to marry up the two, really, so they can have the best chance of success.
Do you find sometimes that people think about what they want rather than what might appeal to their marketplace?
Yeah, definitely.
So a simple answer to that one.
Yes, basically.
It does happen a lot. But I mean, again, to be fair, it's one of those things where yes, so someone might have a particular audience that they're desperately trying to attract, but it's a case of, well, who really, what really is your sort of client base, and again, from real in-depth kind of questions, you can really sort of find out who they really should be appealing to, and again, you still use their sort of style or their ideas or their likes and dislikes and bits and pieces like that. But we try our best to guide them, to look professional and look correct for who they're trying to appeal to. So
Okay.
It's a lot of questions, but
Right. We're talking branding and imaging tonight. If you've got any questions you would like to pose the guys, then get in touch via the hashtag. That's the easiest way. It's a hashtag TorbayHour. And already Martin's fingers are like a blur on the keyboard, so it must be a busy one tonight.
It's a busy one tonight, and James has decided to take the night off. So thank you very much for that, mate.
Yeah. So what have we got? Any new accounts that are cropping up?
Not so many new ones. More people coming back. DC Services are back online. They've had a bit of some time off.
Right.
And Grandpa Frank's, he's actually made it in early, so welcome along, guys. He's asking about sort of bricks, and he's going to take a pitch on Bricks and Market. So he's on their Sunday markets. So he's wondering how many people actually go down there and see them. So I've put him in touch with someone. Other than that, Swift Carpets were on quite early. They're offering a rug if they can hit 500 followers tonight. I've missed how many followers they've actually got, but
Rug?
a rug, a nice white fluffy rug.
Right. Oh,
So I'll have that one, please.
we like free gifts straight away.
Well, exactly. I had KC Carpets come in over the weekend and clean my carpet, and I've still got a rug mark. So that's not his fault, by the way.
I was going to say.
No, the carpet's too old. He's got sun damaged. But at KC Carpets, he did a great job for me as well.
Brilliant. Okay, keep them coming tonight. Hashtag TorbayHour. Of course, if you want to get in touch, if you fancy being the account of the week, or maybe you want to do one of the 140-second pitches, we need to stress, by the way, that it's all free. We're not looking to charge you even a £5 for it.
I'm going to start charging people soon, I think.
Really?
I might do.
Okay. So if you fancy having a go at that, then drop Martin a message during the week, and you never know, you could be on next week. Now, the other thing we do on the show all the time is we play music from artists from Torbay and South Devon. You might have heard of them, you might have seen them playing, but they will have all been from this neck of the woods. They might have recorded here at the Music Mill, or they might have recorded elsewhere. We don't really mind, we just want to get the music out there. Now, the song I'm going to play for you first tonight is from a couple of girls that have actually recorded at the Mill. So I'm going to play you isn't recorded here, but it doesn't matter because they are doing incredibly well. They've been nominated for a BBC Radio 2 Folk Award. They're Wildwood Kin, and they're on the way for you next.
If you want a career in the music or radio industry, don't miss out Open Evening at the Music Mill, Newton Abbot, on Wednesday the 11th of February. In partnership with the Academy of Music and Sound, the Music Mill now offers both BTEC diplomas and degrees, covering both creative music and radio production. These industry-backed courses start in September, so don't miss your chance to learn from professionals with decades of experience. With limited places available, register now for our Open Evening on Wednesday the 11th of February at themusicmill.co.uk.
Proclaim what was lost will be won once again. You are the salt of the earth and the light in the dark, so won't you bring your hope to this broken world? Rise up and take your place. Go forth and let no adversity hinder your way. Hinder your way. You can't proclaim what was lost will be won once again. You are the salt of the earth and the light in the dark, so won't you bring your hope to this broken? You are the salt of the earth and the light in the dark, so won't you bring your hope to this broken world? Don't conceal it, let it be known. You have the strength to lead others home. It's not about pretension, but a humble heart. You can bring something that others cannot. You are the salt of the earth and the light in the dark, so won't you bring your hope to this broken? You are the salt of the earth and the light in the dark, so won't you bring your hope to this broken world? You are the salt of the earth and the light in the dark, so won't you bring your hope to this broken world?
Wildwood Kin, Salt of the Earth, brilliant. It's 24 minutes past 8 o'clock. It is the TorbayHour radio show to accompany the Twitter TorbayHour. So, if you're listening to the Listen Again service and you're wondering why there's no activity on Twitter, it's probably because you're not listening to it live at 8 o'clock. But don't forget, set us a favourite on the TuneIn radio app. It's the easiest way to listen, and you can listen every Monday night. We talk and tweet business for Torbay and South Devon. Now, in the studio tonight, we have got Mark and we've got Lee from Frankman Design. We're talking branding and imaging and stuff like that. Now, I guess these days, in the old days, it was simple because someone knocked on the door and they said, we'd probably like a couple of posters, we'd probably want a few business cards and maybe a bit of print advertising. Now, the world is so much more than that, isn't it? Because you've got to worry about the social media image, you've got to worry about the traditional, the business card stuff. There's websites, there's potentially vehicle, brands on side of vans and stuff like that. So much more. Yeah,
there's such widespread, and the good thing is, like Twitter, you can get your name out there, and it doesn't cost you anything. It costs you time, but obviously you're getting yourself out there to hundreds of people, millions of people, in fact. But the thing you've got to remember is, you've got to look the way you want to look in every aspect of your business. So, for example, when you're putting out your tweets, it's got to reflect you. When you're doing your website, it's got to reflect you. Not just in the image sense, but in personality-wise. So, when people look at your business, come to your business, they relate to you. It's an extension of you, basically.
I mean, your particular brand is a kind of fairly bright colour. It's a friendly font and that kind of stuff, which I guess reflects the kind of business that you're in.
Well, that's it. And it's what we try and reflect is, business is serious, but you don't have to be serious in business. You can get out there, you can have some fun, and it doesn't matter, how serious your business is. It's the way you talk to people and you engage with them, and how you engage with them is basically like if you went to a party, you're just yourself. So you go into a party, you start talking to people, and you attract the people who are like yourself, and you engage with them, and that's just business.
It's just being authentic and
true to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Yeah.
So when someone's had their brand either designed from the scratch or from, if they've come in and said, look, we've been the same for 30 years, we've moved on now, we do different things and things like that. How long does that process take? Or is that the never-ending bit of string argument?
Well, it's on their time, really. It's a case of, we can have people coming in and say, we want to relaunch the brand and we need to do it within 4 to 6 weeks. And then other companies, larger companies, it can go over a year, because you're looking at every aspect, every element of their brand communication.
It also depends really on whether they are new businesses, excuse me, or whether they're established anyway. So, for example, if they're new, they haven't got already built up a kind of like a following as such, or they haven't got a style to try and swap over from an old style to a new style. So, if they've been around for a few years, for example, and they've already got their own logo and their stationery and their signage, etc. If there's a complete brand change, it's a case of how to introduce that slowly. Because again, a lot of people haven't got the budget to go full on and spend thousands or hundreds or whatever it is to change just overnight, like maybe your B&Qs or your coats could do, sort of thing. So sometimes it has to be done in stages. So it's a case of working with them to see how we can best introduce a new look or new style.
I'd not thought of that. I guess the physicals, the headed note papers and the business cards are a potentially very expensive part of a rebrand.
I mean, some people may say, "Oh, I've got 10,000 letterheads still left over with the old logo on." It's like, well, you can still use them, but ideally,
the first thing that goes out is the invoices with the new logo.
It depends on the client, and we obviously advise them what the best thing is to do, or it could be a case that their new look that we've created, we've deliberately tried to keep it in the same colour scheme and similar typefaces, so it's introduced in a sort of a softer approach kind of thing. But it really depends on.
Are there kind of, not templates, but is it accepted that if you're a big kind of corporation, you use a different colour palette to a smaller, media fluffy company or something? Are there kind of defined rules that people stick to and associate with, or is it a blank canvas?
It's a blank canvas.
Yeah, we like to go blank canvas route. Yeah.
It's, I mean, it's quite interesting when we get people in and we start the branding process for them. We go through initial logo design, because we can build all elements of the brand from the logo, different colours, styles, fonts, and the design side. But the time and the effort that goes into that, that takes a lot of design time, doesn't it? That's what kind of sets a mould.
It's something that people don't appreciate, how much work goes into creating a logo design. The choice of the fonts, again, the colours, and people think you just sort of pick a font just from your list.
Yeah,
we've got about 4,000 or 5,000 sort of fonts to choose from, and sometimes you just sort of sit there for a good 2-3 hours just scrolling through just fonts, picking out ones which you think that might suit their business. I'll put that to the side. Oh, that's quite a nice one. That might suit their business or their style. So again, there's hours of work just having a look at a few fonts.
Yeah, it's an organic process that we work, in tandem with the customer, because it's not something we can. So many times people say, "Oh, I just want this," and it's a case of let's go through the whole process, because if you just type your name and you say that's your starting point, you've got to think of every aspect of your business using that, and how do you want to come across, how do you want to be perceived by your customer, and that's the process we go through with our customers to make sure that they're happy at the end of it. And then from that point, once they're happy with the logo, we spill into all the other sort of communication aspects of the business.
Sure. So what are the mistakes then? What are the big fundamental cock-ups basically that people will do?
I think it's not really a cock-up, but if you think of when you start out in business, we all started in the bedroom or wherever, and we type a name on the top of a piece of paper, and we start our business, and we go out there and we start selling, we start building our business up. And what we get from a lot of people is, who do you want to sell to? And it's like, everybody. I want to sell to everybody. Mm-hmm. And this is where we all start. We all start wanting to sell to everybody who's out there. And, after a couple of years of sort of building up our own business and identifying, we want to deal with that type of person, not that type of person. At that point, you can start saying, okay, let's create your brand now. Let's take what you've got and let's put a professional spin on what you're doing, and let's build you up and make you more attractive to the people that you want to sell to. And in that way, you're securing yourself against your competition, and you're commanding the sort of prices that you want.
Right. Okay. And that price point is that an important part of the decision?
Yeah. I mean, it's if you think if you're there's no right and wrong branding. If you're branding for say Poundland or something like that, there's no difference between branding for them and someone like Harrods. They're brands in their own right. They've just got two different target audiences. So the brand is built around the target audience. So it's built to appeal to that target audience, and the other one's built to appeal to that target audience. So branding doesn't have to be all singing, all dancing to, the high end. It can be, to people who just want to spend £1. And there's plenty of business out there, and there's plenty of money to be made. But that brand's designed for that target audience. It's not designed for people who would necessarily shop at Harrods, sort of thing.
Sure, but you could probably spend just as much on getting that right. So it's a kind of Aston Martin Poundland kind of argument.
Yeah.
You wouldn't, if you were Poundland, you wouldn't have an Aston Martin type approach.
People, I suppose, think that if you're paying, I don't know, as an example, thousands of pounds, they think you should be using an expensive looking typeface or expensive looking colours. And if you don't want to pay a small amount of money, you just use cheap looking colours and cheap looking typefaces. It's not the way. It's using typography and logos and
Colours.
styles and colours and shapes and all that kind of stuff, which suit again the target audience. And it's basically everything's got to look right and again appeal to those particular people. Really.
Cool. All right. We'll talk more about the branding and imaging, and if you've got any questions, obviously get in touch. But I want to know more about that kind of holistic approach, talking the social media and the integration of the whole thing. We'll talk about that in a minute. It is the TorbayHour radio show brought to you by the Babacom Inn, and no doubt the Valentine's party night. Well, actually, you wouldn't have a Valentine's party, really, would you? It would be a party for two people.
I tell you what, the things people are suggesting tonight for Valentine's gifts is, Valentine's party is great.
Valentine's party?
Yeah, Seaway Insurance was saying about getting your loved one insurance. Get your loved one life insurance for yourself. Get yourself life insurance, so if you die, your loved one gets paid off. There you go.
The mind boggles, really. Maybe we should have a prize for the least romantic gift that can be brought up tonight on the TorbayHour radio show.
I get a lot of stick on this show because my wife gets a lot of stick from me. I went out and I bought a Valentine's Day card, and I went 3rd of February, guess what I've already got? I said, I've got you a Valentine's Day card. She said, why we never do Valentine's? That's why I come on here and I say the things I say.
She knows who it's from now. When did it all change? when did it change that Valentine's went from this thing where you sent a card, you kind of sneaked up the drive in the middle of the night to make it so that they didn't know who it was from, and it was just an X, and now you get Valentine's cards from children to mum? It's fairly obvious.
That's kind of wrong.
Well, yeah, I know, it kind of defeats the object, doesn't it? But it's out there. I mean, all these things like Valentine's Day, Mothering Sunday, all those now, I mean, this is your guy, this is your territory. They're absolute triumphs in the marketing world, aren't they?
Oh, they are, yeah. But I still send myself one anyway.
What, Valentine's card?
Yeah. From an unknown. Someone's got to
dig out the perfume again.
I often thought, it'd be an interesting way if you sort of land a whole load of cards on the mat in the morning, and the other half goes, so who's this from?
I
don't know.
It's got an X in it, whoever X is.
Very familiar handwriting.
Yeah.
I'll write one for you. You write one for me. It'll be fine. Yeah. No, that's a bit wrong. Yeah, right. Well, that's 4 cards. All right, we've got 3 cards each. We're fine.
Sorted. All right, listen, back to business. What's going on the hour tonight?
Right, so Gap Recruitment, they're generating permanent jobs throughout the area, but don't forget they also do temps as well. TQ_squash, they were on reminding everyone that they do their gym membership for from £11.50 a week or a month. I can't remember what it was now. Sorry, forgive me.
Actually, talking of squash, isn't there still an outstanding match?
Shush, yeah. Yeah, my knee's really hurting.
Yeah, I've got a sore throat.
I've got bone in my leg.
Chilly there.
TKI Totnes, they've got a paranormal experience going on Friday the 13th. Not only is it
really?
Valentine's Day on Saturday, it's Friday the 13th, the day before.
Oh.
So they've got a paranormal experience going on. They've got a seance and table move-in and loads of other stuff going on. So I'm not going to make an obvious joke about spirits in a pub, but, there you go.
Yeah,
I'm above that. Lion Star Music, they're playing at the Murphy's Roundhouse on Friday, so that should be a good night out. Simply Torbay, if you need cake for a meeting or a function, give them a shout. They'll make you a cake. We're off the cake here.
That's an untapped market, cake delivery for meetings, isn't it? Out goes the... Do you find there's this unwritten rule? I don't know why they've just deteriorated into food now. There's this thing, isn't there? Apparently there was research done that meetings were more successful if you have chocolate biscuits on the table. Well, absolutely genuine.
We've got to agree with that.
Sugar rush. Hit a sugar.
Cup of tea and biscuit.
Chocolate biscuit.
Yeah.
Okay.
All our clients will be asking for.
All right.
Just a cup of tea.
Yeah, rebranding, image and chocolate biscuits, you're the guys. Okay, what else, Martin?
What else have we got? Beddersworth, they've got their new residential office coming soon. They've got the builders in at the moment, so good luck with that, guys. Building Torbay, they're a building company. They're promoting some of their work as well at the moment, so showing loads of photos of buildings they've done and houses and stuff like that. ENI Marketing, they're jumping out of a plane for stroke recovery unit that's done their family a lot of good recently, so good luck with that.
Good luck.
I don't see why you want to jump out of a perfectly good plane.
We need tweeted pictures, not necessarily live on the way down, but we need tweeted pictures.
I tell you what, that'd be impressive if they do that.
If you could tweet from a free fall, that would be good.
Don't drop the camera.
One of those GoPros. I tell you what though, they take a battering. But so yeah, lots going on. And at PC Tim Perrin, he's been on. He's really close to sort of 500 followers, I think it was. So give him a follow. Always happy to support the police and everything like that in the Bay. So
good stuff. We need to get Sergeant Sheps back on again soon.
Definitely,
we'll do that. Definitely. Just a quick plug as well for the Music Mill. There is an open evening this Wednesday. Now, if you're considering changing, or maybe you're on a degree course and you're thinking actually music or media is something I'd like to do, you can come and find out more about that with the Exeter Academy of Music and Sound. You can find out about the creative music production degree, and there's a new BTEC being launched in radio production, which both start again in September. So come and find out more about that. Actually, talking of which, there's someone who can do it far better than me.
If you want a career in the music or radio industry, don't miss out Open Evening at the Music Mill, Newton Abbot on Wednesday the 11th of February. In partnership with the Academy of Music and Sound, the Music Mill now offers both BTEC diplomas and degrees, covering both creative music and radio production. These industry-backed courses start in September, so don't miss your chance to learn from professionals with decades of experience. With limited places available, register now for our Open Evening on Wednesday the 11th of February at themusicmill.co.uk.
You are my life, you're everything to me. You're always around when I am alone. You are my hope to carry on, my love. You're in my thoughts and you're in my dreams. You give me strength to carry on my life. And when I'm feeling down, you pick me up. You're on my mind all of the time. When you're around, I feel complete. But when you're away, I feel afraid. I'd like to say, please stay with me. You give me strength to carry on my life. And when I'm feeling down, you pick me up. If you were here, I'd say I'd love you. I'd say I'd care for you, and I'd be your love. But if you don't love me, that doesn't matter. I still love you, and I'll always care. You give me strength to carry on my life. And when I'm feeling down, you pick me up.
TorbayHour radio show, there you go, brought to you by the Babacom Inn and their genuinely, well, all year round party nights, I think it's fair to say. Have we sorted out what the next, because we need to get the new ones
not
done?
yet. I'm meeting with them on Friday, so
Okay, we'll find out. But anyway, certainly they'd love to see you there for Valentine's night. It's coming up unbelievably to 8:45 already. We're talking brands, image, the company's identities basically tonight. We've got Mark and we've got Lee who are in from Frankman Design, and we've talked about sort of the process from the ground up of building a company's image. Once you've got that, obviously these days the kind of almost most important thing is the web. really, isn't it? The web and social media, you can pretty much ignore anything else. And I guess there are a lot of businesses now that don't even bother with a shop front or signage of any description because the web is how they trade.
Well, that's it. Your website is basically the new shop window as such, and it builds confidence when you've got a attractive and professional website rather than just something that's just knocked up sort of thing. But yeah, we do all the websites and we do everything in house. So we do all our own design and programming sort of side of it. But what we also do, which I think we're one of a very few companies in the UK actually, we've created our own online tracking software, and it's called Go Retrieve. And basically what it does, it tells you the name of the businesses that are looking at your website, and it tells you, who they are, where they're located, gives you links to their website, tells you the name of their directors, all their financial information, tells you what they're looking at. So then you can sort of, particularly if you're selling business to business, manufacturing or anything like that, what you can do is you can identify all those businesses that are looking at you and what they're interested in. So then you can use that to remarket to those people, because not everyone who looks on your website will contact you. They could be in that early stage of, looking at, they can be looking 5-10 different suppliers, and they've come onto your website before going on to the next one. The idea is it gives you all that information for you to then contact them, send them a brochure, however you want to do it, but get in front of them before they go to your competition. So yeah, that's something else we've written in house. It's online tracking system.
Brilliant. I like that idea.
Yeah.
So, because we're familiar with, we've learnt over the past few weeks and months about the social media side of things, and there are various things out there for looking at that kind of information and who people follow on Twitter and the things people are interested in on Facebook and stuff like that. But to actually have that kind of depth of information on just your website is
that's it.
Very powerful.
So if company ABC comes to your website, you can see their name, their address, their website, their telephone number, who the directors are, all their financial information. You can see where they've been on your website.
I'm slightly concerned now.
So for example, if you sell 4 different services, for argument's sake, if you're an accountant and they're paying particular attention on VAT, on how to do VAT or whatever, or they're looking at a bookkeeper or whatever they're looking at, what you can then do is, armed with that information and understanding who they are, is you can market that particular product back to them, because they're interested in it, they know who you are, and then it leads on to face-to-face and hopefully a sale for you.
You're kind of the NSA of the web design world, aren't you, really? So now we kind of touched on it there with social media, looking at Facebook and Twitter and your identity on that. And again, you touched on how being true to yourself and your business is so important, and carrying that on through the brand as a whole.
Yeah.
Is that a trap that... So, and I guess in a small business, it probably goes actually full circle, because you probably start as a one-man band and you're doing everything yourself, and then one of the first thing you do is then unload it. So there might be 2 or 3 people dealing with one on Facebook, one on Twitter, one doing the web, and then is that a point where you then can fall into traps of not having that consistency?
Well, it's quite interesting, isn't it?
It's like you said, a business owner might start off on his own, and again, for example, he could be the fun, cheeky kind of character who's been like that with all of his clients, and then a new member of staff might come along and they're very serious and not like the boss or how he likes his business to be portrayed, kind of thing. So if there's a bit of a inconsistency between the two of them, when they're dealing with the client themselves, there might be sort of mixed messages going on there. So it's quite important that they all follow the same sort of brand style in a kind of way. So, one thing we have created recently is a branding. It's got like a little guideline kind of booklet,
right?
And it's available on our website, and it's a little 16-page booklet. But basically, if you go onto our website, there's a few links. But if you go onto the contact page, if you just put in your company name, a bit of information about yourself, and your contact details, what we'll do is we'll post out a copy to yourselves. And inside there is some information about ourselves, the kind of work that we do, and some of the clients that we work for. But the main idea of the booklet is in the middle of the book. There's a few sort of like brand kind of questions, like sort of starter points to give you sort of an idea to get you started to think about your brand and your business.
Go through a couple now.
I mean, for example, you've got like the first question. You've got like your brand personality. So, for example, how would you see your brand if it was a person? What sort of personality would it have? So
Right.
like Fretman Design, for example, we see ourselves as fun sometimes, creative, and sort of down to earth. So that's kind of our personality. But whereas again,
You're kind of Alan Titchmarsh.
yeah, of the design world. Yeah, but yeah. So that's kind of what we encourage people to do is to think of their own businesses and think, okay, what sort of, if I give my business a personality, what sort of personality would it be?
Right.
Sort of fun, serious, traditional, for example. We also do things like the SWOT analysis. So again, it's simple sort of questions, but just to get people thinking about their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats of their business. Your competition, we encourage, one thing we do encourage people when they come into the office for initial chat is to be serious about who their competition is. So they can kind of compare them to them and see, for example, how their own business is better than their competitors, for example, and see their USPs that they could use as a starting point to help build their brand and help them come across better than the others, for example.
No, I bet this is a bit of an eye opener, because I bet there's people listening who they were thinking, oh yeah, actually we'll get rebrand. That's fine, and that's dead simple. But I mean, I'd not thought of it in those terms, and to have that kind of structure and the depth of thought into how you portray yourself is.
It's one of those things. I suppose that's the good thing about the booklet. It just highlights, again, there's only sort of a few questions in there, and you should just get the ball rolling.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But it's just a good way of people actually thinking, I didn't think of my business in that kind of way, because they're so engrossed in their own business and their own idea of how their business should be presented. But when you actually explain to them, how do others perhaps see your business?
Yeah.
On the page after that particular spread where they fill out the page themselves, there's a section for them to give to like other team members, or it could even be like friends and family sort of thing, for them to actually put down what they think their business is like. So when you compare the two, if they're pretty much the same kind of ideas and the same kind of the way they're being perceived, then usually it means they're on the right route. And but if they're completely different, one might think, oh, actually, I thought you was a bit of a fun business, or you was a bit, kind of crazy in this kind of way, or whatever. If there's quite a lot of difference between everyone else's sort of ideas of how they are perceiving your business, then it might be a case of thinking, okay, maybe how I think my business is being presented is totally different to how everyone else is seeing it, and that's usually the time when people think, oh, okay, let's have a look.
I bet there's also people that in the small businesses think, well, this is something that big corporations do. This is not for me, But the point is that it's in fact for everyone, isn't it?
It boils down to it's a person. Even one person is a brand.
I mean, we work with brand new businesses, people who've just gone it alone, and you often find that we start off with them 5 years ago, and they're coming back to us still because they're serious about what they want to do. They're serious about growing. They're serious about attracting business. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, without attracting the customers, you haven't got a business. So if you can attract the customers that you want and sell to them in that way, then it's a winning formula.
Now, is this? Let's talk brass tacks. Is this something which is a movable feast in terms of? Right, we want a new brand identity, or do you offer kind of a package that's a starter package, and then you're going to have a re-logo or whatever it is?
It's basically down to the individual. They come in and they talk to us about what they want to do, and we will go through the whole process with them. And what we do is we break it down into project sections. Okay, so at this time they may only want a logo because they're just starting off and they're getting their getting the ball rolling, but they want to start off on the right foot. And everything's broken down into sections, and other people might say, right, I want the whole lot.
Right.
I want all this done. How long? How much? Like this, and it's just broken down into manageable, bite-sized chunks, and it doesn't cost the earth. It really doesn't, and that's why we always say to people, come in. We always say, if you want to talk about your brand, if you want to talk about your business, come in. It's completely free. We'll sit down, go through it all. You can go through the questions, through the books. If it's something that you want to do, we can move forward. We go a little bit more in depth with the questions, and we start to sort of extract more information from them, and then we break it down into manageable projects, which will have deliverable dates and costs attached to each project. If they don't want to do it, then they don't want to do it now. So it is really down to that sort of person, and you're not talking thousands.
Good. Well, I guess really, even if you think of it in terms of man in white van doing whatever he's doing, builder, gardener, whatever it is, man in white van, just getting a kind of a vehicle wrap or the right font or anything like that that's on the van will make all the difference. I mean, my wife saw a restaurant we used to go to and then stopped and then went back because she liked the font and it looked classy on their vehicles that were driving around. And it was, let's go and try them again because we haven't been there. And it was a completely, it had obviously had a rebrand, a re-image, it had been taken over by new people. And there we go back again now.
That's it, yeah.
So
it's attracting, it's catching people's eye. And being consistent through the whole process.
The whole power, it shows how powerful your brand image and style.
Totally, yeah. And so someone can come in and start then you're not going to say, right, okay, part with £10,000 and you'll get this. You could start at one point and there could be logical steps, but they can just do it as they feel they want to do it.
Yeah, you're in the few hundreds to start, and then it just goes, depending on what you want. I mean, a complete rebranding process for a large company will want lots of stuff. Somebody coming in brand new will, they may sort of say, right, okay, at this point I just want sort of a logo, a website, some flyers just to get me going. And then in a year or so's time, once they've got built up the business and start moving forward, then they go for something else. It's not a set you've got to do the whole lot. It's a case of let's plan it out the best way to do your deliverables.
Okay, and I guess as well the other thing that because everyone has got access to all kinds of technology now, that there's a perception of, well, I can do that, but I guess you can fall into all kinds of traps of almost putting too much information, and coming to guys that really know what they're doing makes it a much more targeted message.
It's
I suppose that everyone can do everything. I like to think I can do DIY.
We all like to think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, some of us are good at it, some of us are bad. So everyone's got varying levels of what they can do. So everyone can try doing their own logos, and sometimes you look at them and you think, wow, that's pretty good. Do you want a job, sort of thing? But others, you look at it and think, oh, I can see that you've done that themselves. But again, it's really getting something that looks good and professional for your business to give it every chance of success, really.
Brilliant. All right. Well, listen, guys, thanks for coming in. Give us your contact details again. So we need your Facebook, your website, your Twitter. Give us everything.
Website, www.frankmandesign.co.uk.
Okay.
Twitter address, twitter.com/frankmandesign.
Okay.
Phone number, 01803 411 416.
And you're on the harbour side with chocolate biscuits.
We are on the harbour side, and Torquay, yeah. So if even if you want to come down,
beer and biscuits.
I was going to say, you can come down, and we've got a couple of bars beneath us. So if you did want a cup of tea, you're more than welcome to come down and.
You'll buy me a drink. That's great. I look forward to see you tomorrow. Fantastic.
You might have to pay for it, but
guys, thanks for coming in. And if anyone's got any questions, obviously they can get in touch via those or via us, and we will pass them straight on.
That'd be great.
Thank you, Martin. What's going on the hour?
Have we done the 140?
Oh, sorry. Let me put your mic there.
Oh, hello. Have we done the 140?
Oh my goodness, quick. Right, 140-second pitch, right. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Right, let's do it.
Hello everyone from the South Devon Players Theatre Company in Brixham. I've got a chance here to give a few words about what we do. We are looking for people to get involved, both as actors, stage crew, technicians. So if you'd like to get involved, if you like what you hear, then do please look us up online. Right. We're a group that was founded about 10 years ago, and we specialise in newly written historical drama. So it's newly written, but in general terms, it's about factual events. So we'll pick a story, usually something related to either South Devon or at least within Europe, and script it, research it as much as possible from original records, and then get it up on stage, usually at the Palace Theatre in Paignton, and we are looking to expand our performance venues this year. Our current project is The Survivors of the Titanic, which sounds, pardon the pun, a rather Titanic thing to put on. It's got a local link that a lot of people don't know about, which is that a lot of surviving crew members of the Titanic were brought to Millbay Docks in Plymouth. So obviously the first half of the show tells the story of the Titanic that we all know, and then the second half, which is written from newspaper reports and interviews of the time, tells the story of some of the crew members arriving at Millbay Docks in Plymouth and what happened there. That gives you an idea of the sort of thing we do. We're also working on an internet film series, 20 parts, based word for word on Victor Hugo's unabridged book of Les Miserables. And that also goes into production with the trailer and episode 1 during this coming spring. So it's a lively group. We try to break the boundaries between what's considered amateur and professional. We try to, as a professional group, but obviously we can't call ourselves professional because as yet we don't have the possibility to be paid from it. It's a lively group. There are people of all ages, all levels of experience, and we all work together. Our website is southdevonplayers.com, and we are actively looking for people to join us.
The 140-second pitch, sponsored by Torbay Discount Card, Torbay's community discount card.
We're very naughty boys.
Indeed.
I'm sorry.
Talking and tweeting business in Torbay and South Devon. This is the TorbayHour radio show.